These are needles, and this is wool. Can I use these to make a painting? A few years ago, I started an art series where I painted with wool. I created beach scenes, paintings of plants, just tiny little paintings. I even did some 3D stuff.
Which leads me into what this is actually called.
It is needle felting. And the cool thing with this, you just take wool. You take wool, you pull it apart, and then you use this little doodad right here to stick it down and make a painting. Or you can do 3D like little animals and stuff. Up to you. I'm calling this wool painting because I'm making a picture with some wool. So one of the reasons why I am doing this project is because I am searching for a piece of home decor for my house. I cannot find it, but I can see it in my mind. And I normally do not like to put my own artwork in my house because I'd rather enjoy somebody else's since I do this for a living. However, I can't find this thing, so I'm just gonna make it. I'm also on a mission to use stuff that I already have. So I have this massive piece of housing insulation. You'll see what I'm doing with it in a second. See the outline of that plant right there? We use this as a cushy thing for this to sink into, you know? That way the needles don't break. And in my mission to use up things that I already have, I have so much wool. I have this massive bag of wool, this massive basket of wool, this bag of colorful wool, this bag of wool, and a bunch of felt. Now something sweet with this, I have a lot of colors of felt that, when am I gonna use neon green? Let's be real. Today. Nobody's gonna see this anyway. Nobody's gonna see it. Look, I found another one. They're everywhere in my art studio. Now I want to say something about the painting I'm about to start. You might learn a little bit about me as somebody who just is existing in a home. So what I'm gonna make is more tailored to my decorating style, which might be a little different from my art style. I'm not really sure how this is gonna come out, but the things that I create are usually like super bright and stuff. This might be a little different. That's the hint that you're gonna get. First, let's take this giant bag of wool. If you decide to do needle felted painting, I would recommend getting something like this for the base of your painting. And if you have allergies, now is the time to take your allergy medicine, like I did this morning. So now I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna take this wool here, and I'm going to spread it all across here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to cover this piece of felt with a really plush, thick layer, like a base layer, before I start laying down color. You don't have to do this, I guess. It's a stylistic choice. But I think it makes the color stick better, and a lot of sets only come with a little bit of color, so it will save you on wool later, unless you have a little small town wool shop, which I actually do near me, but haven't been there yet. Anyway, I'm just gonna lay down my wool like this, all across here. This is very time consuming, so you may wanna get a show. Okay, I have a little bit of wool laid down. I'm basically gonna be doing this motion over and over again. I'm not going super deep right now, I'm just showing you the motion, but yeah, we're just gonna get started now. Okay, so while I am telling y'all what's going on with this wool thing, I'm gonna be talking to you down here in the corner of the screen, or like up in the corner, wherever I put this. I'm kind of digging this style of voiceover lately. It's like we're hanging out, you know? So here we are. I am crisscross layering more layers of this wool here. And I'm just gonna keep doing this until I cannot see that green felt anymore. I really, really value texture when it comes to something like this. So I want this to be thick and plush. I'm not gonna waste the colorful wool for this part. I'm just gonna use the cheap stuff, and we'll do our thing later. Now we can get to the color though. As I said, this is gonna be a time-consuming project, so if you decide to do it, I hope you have a favorite show. I hope you're binging something, or like a podcast or an audiobook. Also, I mentioned this earlier, but I really value taking my time when it comes to a recreational activity like this. There's my sister, Sophia. She just ducked. Because if you take the long way around, then you really get to be present and enjoy the moment and soak up all the good that you can experience with a project like this. I feel like our culture really hammers into our heads the word efficiency and how we just constantly need to get things done the fastest way possible. And if you're trying to relax, why put that kind of pressure on yourself? So those are my thoughts. I'm just gonna present that again because that's, you're gonna see a lot of me taking my time. I don't know how else to say this. Now, this did take a long time to make. I will tell you at the end of the video how long it took, but just know it took me days to condense this video into something remotely watchable for you guys. So I hope you enjoy this. I am interrupting this video to show you some secret artwork that I have not shared yet. For the last couple weeks, I have been drawing this on Procreate, and I was just really excited about it, and I just wanted to share something that I did with this. I made stickers with this. I'm so excited about these. Anyway, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I have a huge shop update happening today, September 28th. So if you go to mirabyler.com, you can get one of these vinyl stickers. They're matte, they feel lovely. I have this cute little moth sticker too, and okay, you see the way my face is placed? This is from an old piece of artwork that was exactly like that. It was this moth on top of a person's face. And I cut it off and turned it into a sticker. This is a really fun shop update. I have lots of cute little notepads with mushrooms, cute little notepads with monstera leaves, and I have this super practical to-do list, and I use this all the time. I've already gone through like 3 of these. I meant to release this last year, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait. And I was just using them, and I shouldn't be doing that. So I'm finally releasing these in my shop. Anyway, if you want any of this stuff, you can go to mirabyler.com. I'm super excited about this shop update, and I hope you enjoy it. I also made these super cute Earl Grey tea bag stickers, and this little part up here is clear, so when you stick it on something, you can see through that part. Super cute. It's inspired by buildings that I saw in Europe. So I have lots of thick layers here in color for the sky now, and I did a Mod Podge of blues. And actually right here, as I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna have to fix this later. And I'm okay with that, but we're gonna keep going right now. It's a little too saturated for what I'm going for. But I'm telling you that because I'm keeping something in mind for later, and we're gonna make some changes. Let's take this like burnt sienna color. So if you watch me paint, I do this burnt sienna underlayer. And when I saw this color, I was like, whatever, you're not gonna see it when this is done, but I just want to lay it down. I want to do this for fun. I don't know. So I did that. Now we're getting to some texture, and I'm like rolling up pieces of wool. I messed around with tying things in knots and creating these puffy looking ball type things. And I'm doing all of this to create a tree line. So let's just watch that unravel, and then we'll come back and talk more once that part is done. guys, I'm back. That part is not done, but I forgot I wanted to tell you about my little braid here. I was so pumped about this. I decided to braid 3 different colors together that you would find out in nature in like autumn, gloomy day weather. And then I laid that part right beneath the tree line because everything in front of it is gonna be a little different. So I wanted to set that apart. It'll all kind of blend together a little bit though, because this is like kind of abstract. You'll see. Now the fun thing about this texture part is like, I kind of think it's less work to do these big chunky knots and braids and stuff than to try to just get a super smooth wool painting. I've done a lot of these in the past, and so far this is my favorite way to go about it. All right, let's start on these corn cob looking things. That's not really what I intended for them to look like, but let's be real, it kind of looks like corn on the cob is just growing in this field in the foreground. I did all these twisty things and then it like came together, you know? And then I just like stabbed and went in the painting. Good time. So I did a couple of those for texture and I decided I like that part, but I want to move on, so I did. I made these other little flowery things. Now I'm saying all of this in a very weird way, I guess because, I don't know, I guess this is more of an abstract piece to me. Like you could interpret some of those things as like corn on the cob or some other type of flower. You can interpret those peachy color flowers down below as like, maybe they're flowers or maybe they're pumpkins. I don't know. You use your imagination and interpret this like the way you see it. Let me know how you see this at the end too. I'm genuinely curious. So the clouds, let's talk about the clouds. This was such a fun element of this painting because the sky, it's just this smooth area of blue right now. And I want texture. I really, really want texture on my walls, okay? So I'm keeping my own house in mind and where I'm going to hang this in my house as I'm making this. And I knew I wanted some floofy clouds. Now I'm taking a bunch of different green colors of wool and browns and neutral colors, and I'm just gonna blend everything into the foreground for a lush textured landscape. I kind of just like went with the flow for this too. I didn't like plan what I was gonna do for each color and stuff ahead of time. I thought rolling with it just felt more natural to me, so what I did. Lots of twisting, lots of knots, lots of braiding. I did this like loop thing around my finger and then I pulled the wool like over my finger to make that little poof ball. You'll see a couple of those. Sometimes I would just twist it on the canvas and then just stab it around and it would do this cute little swirl, which is what I'm doing now. So, fun stuff. I also learned with this project that I can take multiple colors and just keep tearing apart like this and blending them together, getting various streaks and stuff, which is cool because I saw a TikTok like right after I did that, and that is exactly how this like professional person did it, except they had this like big machine wheel type thing that like did it for them so they didn't have to do that. Cool stuff. When I did a lot of these wool paintings in the past on my channel, I think this is my 4th or 5th one by now because I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. But I think I was afraid to do a lot of texture because didn't know how it would look, you know? But now that I look back and I see like the smooth paintings that I used to make versus this textured stuff that I'm doing in this one, I think the texture is a lot more enjoyable of a process to do. I I feel like it really switches up like my hand motions and my rhythms rather than just spreading it flat and stabbing it all around. All right, I'm about halfway done with the foreground, and I am doing a lot of little like wrap around the needle things and like then stab the needle. It creates this cool like almost flower effect, and I'm just kind of stabbing it in and tucking it like in the nooks of other fluffier stuff. I feel like it's good filler, so I did that a lot. I really like, okay, this is what I was going for with this piece. I'm just gonna tell you now. I wanted it to convey the Midwest because I'm from Ohio. I was gone for like half of the summer, and it really made me think about how I really love where I'm from. I love the cornfields, I love the farms, I love all the flat land and then the trees all through the horizon. Sometimes I feel like I can take that for granted, but when I was gone, I missed it. So I wanted to convey that. And I also wanted to convey like the ambiguity of seasons. Like you could maybe interpret this as fall or summer. You can decide that, you know, as you're viewing it. But I wanted it to be like a neutral colored day. Like an overcast day kind of makes things feel a little gloomier. So I wanted to convey that in the foliage. But I gotta fix that sky still, so I will go in later, fix that sky, and you will see what I mean. I think this reminds me of like, okay, right now it's late September. Fall just started. And here in Ohio, still kind of looks like summer, still kind of looks like fall. That's probably how I would interpret this. The timing of the year was very coincidental in terms of like lining up with this because I have seen this in my head for months. I just could not find this type of home decor anywhere. And I figured, you know what, it's time to just make it myself. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna say another thing too, if you folks decide to try this, there's tons of kits on Amazon. That's how I got started with this. They give you this box. Let me show you. It looks like this. It has like needles in it, little googly eyes, little scissors, refill things in case stuff breaks. And then you can get tons of those little baggies of colored wool. If you get really invested in this, those colored baggies will not be enough. You can go to like, okay, so here, you drive a little ways, like 30 minutes. I can go to this little wool place that sells like bulk colored wool and get it way cheaper. So if you have like farms or little small businesses that sell yarn and stuff in your area, I don't know, check that out. Check that out. You can probably get better deals. Also, if you do this, please be careful. You're gonna want to put a squishy surface beneath the painting. Because if you don't and you just hit straight on a hard surface, first of all, the wool needs something to go into to stick, you know? But second of all, you're gonna break your needles, and that's just not fun. And keep those needles away from your hands. There are protectors in that box that you can wear. I've done this a lot, I don't wear them anymore. But really hurts if you miss, you know, just saying. Okay, so here I'm fixing the sky. I'm making it a little more gray. Okay, art family, it's been a couple days. I've been chipping away at this. I think I've put about 12 hours into it, give or take. And now we're at the part where we're almost done, but I have to show you something super, super satisfying. The reason why this is super satisfying is because when I stab this thousands of times, you know, these wool fibers, this stuff here, goes down into the foam. So when I pull it back, it kind of looks like a blackhead strip and all the oil coming out of your nose, you know? Kind of disgusting, but kind of satisfying. Every time I film one of these videos, I do this for you folks because a lot of you like this part. It's kind of gross though, but also really cool. So why don't you come with me? All right, I'm just gonna start by peeling this corner up. I'm gonna grab it like this. Look at that. Isn't that grossly satisfying? Also remember that neon green. Oh, wow. Amazing. Amazing. It's kind of hard to get out too. It's like a rug. Isn't that disgusting, but kind of cool? Okay, so we peeled this piece off and here is how it looks right now. Can you believe we started with green felt? Not only green, but neon green. It looks so disgusting back here and then so different on the front. Comment of the day, let me know if you've ever tried this before. See you next week. Bye.